Hi everyone. My name is Nakia Shade, also known as Nadia Shake, but Nakia Shade is like my online um sort of identity. And I am just getting on late. I'm not going to be on for long, but I wanted to come on just because episode 9 just premiered like a moment ago, and I wanted to tell you all to go watch it. I literally just premiered, like right now. It's gonna drop it in the chat, and I will let you guys find it, watch it, whatever. But it's right here. The other thing is, to introduce myself again. If you don't know who I am, again, my name is Nakia Shade. I am an America's Next Great Author, semi-finalist 2022. A Dark Horse Comics author and artist of this comic right here, Climate Keepers, Agents of Project Zero. As the author, I designed the characters, I did storyboarding and preliminary work and writing and everything like that. I'm also a um, creator of like the Song of Wata. And so that is a Masala fiction audiobook drama that is exclusively on YouTube. I know in the past I mentioned meme stories, but it's only on YouTube currently. And this is a story about two Mami Wata human mermaid sisters and their journey of revenge. Their journey of revenge after dealing with uh, being sold by the human side of their family in a auction. And so it's about their revenge. And I'll leave it at that. The link is in the description. I I think I might try to put some on for you guys so we can watch it together. That would be fun. It's part one, by the way. Um, I love to have like big chapters, but I wanted to kind of keep it so that you guys could split it up into two, and then it was like less stress on me. I was having technical issues this whole weekend with the program that I'm using to edit the video and sync up the audio and do all this like effects and stuff. I really put a lot of effort into this episode. I really wanted the last couple episodes of the season of this act to be like really good. So hope you enjoy the episode or the chapter rather. I go between episode and chapter because in my mind it's kind of the same thing. But we'll go with chapter 9. And I am the creator of Song of Wata. I design the characters, I draw the characters, I draw the thumbnails, I voice the drama. And it's Masala fiction, so if you're really like Bollywood or um, Asian style type of dramas, that is, and by Asian I mean like Indian, Korean, Chinese, Pakistani, like all those types of dramas, Tamil, that sort of those type of dramas is what I write towards. And so yeah, we're it would have been one, but I had to split. I had to be honest with myself. I was like, I want this done today so that the last two could air in this month. Um, so it's the first part of chapter 9, and it's gonna be fun. It's a lot of fun. I think you all will really like how it plays out. They'll definitely take you by surprise, and it will definitely leave you wanting to know what the heck is gonna happen here. What is gonna happen here? Um, so I do hope you enjoy this episode. And I wanted to just get on for a little bit, not too long. I'm not gonna be on here too long. I just want to be on just for a little bit so I can answer any questions that might come up as anyone's watching it, or just to share a little behind the scenes work that went into this episode in particular, or this chapter in particular. Um, I added, I went hard with the sound effects. I went really hard with the sound effects. I went really hard with sound design. And I don't normally do that, but I really wanted this one to be something special, and I wanted to try new things. So it's by no means perfect, but it's something that I feel is more, you really get into the episode, you really get into this chapter, you really get into like what's going on in a different way, and I really wanted to explore that with this one. And the visual effects are back for the video itself. I kind of was able to, again, the program that I was using before was Adobe Premiere and Adobe After Effects. But every time I used it on a Mac, it was like crashing, and I couldn't. So I found like CapCut and a couple other ones that I'm using, and they work a lot better. They have a lot, it's more user friendly for me, and I don't have to like know a lot of techie stuff. Like I can just use what they have, the basic stuff, and I'm okay with that. Like I don't, I used to when I was in community college. I used to like be super, like I had to learn this stuff, right? So I had to learn Premiere, After Effects, Adobe, like Dream, stuff. Like I had to learn a lot of stuff. So with this one in particular, I didn't want to relearn all those things again, especially because they're outdated techniques. So to be able to have things like CapCut and other plug and play effects for visual effects, for audio effects, has been super helpful for me. Like in the past, I would try to make my own sound effects, and I still would like to do that for the next act. I think that'd be a lot of fun to try to make my own for different things and keep making more music for it. If you didn't know, I used to play the violin when I was in elementary school and into middle school a little bit. And so I play the violin, I play the cello. I attend a lot of my father's performances as a kid, his musical performances, where he would sing like Bollywood covers and guzzles and things. So I have a bit of like musical understanding and appreciation for music. I'm by no means professional, but I understand a bit about certain sounds and tones, and I have a lot of like appreciation for arts in general, but music has been one of those things. And I'm definitely not a great singer, but I wanted to explore that a little bit in this episode. So there's a little bit of singing here. It's a little bit of singing. I am no means like a professional. I just really wanted to add, I don't know, I feel like for this series, I wanted to have this indie feel. I don't know why series. I don't know why.
Here are some independent.
Okay. It's telling me independent film series. I wanted it to have indie, this like indie feel to it. So that was one of the reasons that I went in that direction with creating more atmosphere and more like layering. I really enjoy creators like Edmund McMullen and Michael Ocelot and Jorge Gutierrez and Guillermo del Toro. Like, I appreciate like all those types of creators that are just like misfits in their genre, and they just combine these things, and I just like so good. So that's where I went with this. And I remember Guillermo del Toro was talking about how sound design is very important in a film. And since the way I write is like dramas, I wanted the sound here to be there because I wanted it to feel like atmosphere, like I mentioned, and I wanted it to feel. I just wanted it to pull you in their way that I haven't had the opportunity to explore because of technological issues. And so I really do hope you enjoy this like view of this chapter. I would like to actually try and play it for you guys. No, you can hear it. All right, we'll listen to it a little bit. This is Song of Wata, written, illustrated, and narrated by Nakia Shade, with music composed by Tanya Marie Edwards, Queen of Goldfish. a serialized audio drama and Masala fiction published by Masala Studios Incorporated. Chapter 9: The Founding Family. A calculator clicks, then stops. Rizwanuddin rubs his brows, leans back, jaw tight. Papers spiral across the desk. The accountant studies the profit-loss statement. From a numbers standpoint, bankruptcy protects you. But there has to be another way. There are ways. None clean. If a competing merchant were to lose a ship or two, your losses could be recouped. So, steal. I didn't say that. I'm saying ships disappear, Walker, are escorted. Could be recouped. So, steal. I didn't say that. I'm saying ships disappear every season. People, like the council, look away when the books bounce. Rizwanuddin closes the ledger. Bills are due at the end of the month. I'm drowning. Niambe skips down the hall to Rizwanuddin's office, balancing a box of pastries. Her smile fades as the men's voice carry. Which is why you should be honest about who else already paying the price. Your wife's father. His care alone is bleeding you dry. Carrie's hospitals don't extend grace forever, even for a founding father. Rizwanuddin exhales slowly. She has enough on her plate. I'll tell her soon. Niambe turns down the hall to Rizwanuddin's secretary desk and pockets a pair of red rubber-coated copper scissors. She knocks. Papers shuffle hastily into a cardboard box, and chairs groan as the men stand. Hello, Miss Bott. Simil grates with the tip of his hat. Mrs. Malik. Old habits, forgive me. Pastries for your family, for Sukkot. Thank you again for the Eid sweets. You're kind as ever. Let me know what you decide. He leaves, and Niambe takes a seat across from the desk. Do you have 5 minutes? What is it? I signed the lease for my penthouse. All my belongings are moved in, and Imani's guest room is ready. She hands him the leasing agreement. He approvingly nods and hands it back to her. Deposit? 1,200? He writes a check and tears it free. 1/3 now. The rest I'll have next month. She pockets it, fidgeting her feet, and she hesitates. I overheard you and Zimmel talking about the ships. He studies her, the roses woven into her curls, heavy with dew. Pirates raided 7 Red J cargo ships during the Welcome Week Gala. Took everything off the ships and sold the crew. Everything gone. I'll call in favors. But that won't be enough. The house won't smell the same when you're gone. Niambe touches her hair, and a rose petal falls on the desk. Oh, it wasn't possibly long. I trimmed it. He looks down, back to the ledger. She reaches into her pocket. The copper scissors catch the light. What if my hair helps? The Zoya line can release a collection of Mami Wata weaves, extensions, wigs, and braiding gear. Sell it by the gram. It'll cover boss care, everything. No. I'm not asking. I've already decided. Karens love my curls. They can love them on their heads too. She meets his gaze, and Rizwanuddin slams his ledger shut. Niambe jumps. No, I'm not that kind of man. Well, either this or we pay thugs to steal from my father's ships. And this is a wife's duty, isn't it? Bus. Enough bakwas. I don't believe in traditions as old as dirt, written to keep men comfortable and women submissive. I care about what you choose. She lifts the scissors. Start cutting. He finishes, rubber bands snapping tight. A small copper mirror slides across the desk. 5 dozen ponytails. Split the ponytails into half bundles. Sell it as virgin. Price it for braids and extensions. Red costs more. Bleached black and brown cost extra. How do you know all this? At my akika, my shaved hair was meant to be weighed in silver, then buried. Instead, the barber sold it to a salon. After that, Mama and Baba cut our hair themselves. No outsiders ever touched us again. So, I learned how to take what harmed me and still smile. This time, all the way to the bank. Lunar Gully women will process it. They're paid fairly. Niambe reads the address on legal paper and hands it to him. He nods. Thank you. Idris steps into the office, and the 2 men leave. Alone, Niambe touches her bare scalp. Warm, scratchy. Rosebuds blossom on the crown of her head, near her edges. Crushed roses fallen across her caftan. She traces the raised scars from the nickel at her throat and ears. Then, looks at the Keats branch songbird outside. Someday, I will be as free as you. Okay. Well, that was it. I wanted to share that first thing, you guys. I have a couple of things left to do for re-uploading that because I realized there was one technical error, which was that the sound effects were not audible, and I feel really bad about that because I thought they would be. But that's why we do these things together so that you can kind of see a little behind the scenes. So sometimes when I launch a chapter like today, it may not be perfect, no matter how many times I work on it or how long. So that's all right. I will relaunch it, and you will still be able to listen to it probably when I'm done. Honestly, it's 11, so it shouldn't take me too much longer to get that technical issue done and fixed. But either way, that's pretty much what the chapter starts as, how it starts. It only gets crazier from there. Um, and so I just wanted to hop on here for a bit just to share a little bit about that. I did want to point out something. I did create that um sneak peek one, this one, where I'm like, oh, it's so moody. It's like everything about the Mami Wata and Kari and women in Kari are commodified. So I didn't lie. Y'all just didn't know how it was gonna turn out. You know what I mean? Like, ooh, how did she get here? Like, how did she get at this point? How did Niambe lose her luscious locks? Because we always see her like this. We always see her looking like this, and now she looks different. What happened? So yeah, a little uh sequence of events that happened that left you wondering whoa, what happened? So hopefully that answers that. I really didn't want to. When I first was writing this chapter out like last year, I really wanted to figure out the best way to write that scene, and there are so many ways that scene's gonna go. Like, so as you know, Niambe leaves Rizwanadine's home to her own place, and then Imani is the one that he wants to marry. In the original version of this, Rizwan already had like two other wives, and Niambe was the third wife in this whole scenario. And so she was like the third wife, the weird one, the special one, the one that had something that the other wives couldn't give him. And so from where we started to where we are now, I really like how this change happened because it's more about Rizwan and Niambe's relationship and their differences and how they come together and why even though there isn't like a typical marriage that they have, they still have this like connection, this friendship, this bond that is being like tested by other people outside of them and then from themselves. And so I'm glad the direction that this went into. There are other couples in Song of Wata that have like, you know, two, three, four wives or women that have, you know, uh, husband or, you know, other relationships that's not rooted in, you know, monogamy. But it's all done in a way to show different types of relationships. And it's not I wanted to add that perspective because a lot of the way I write is not written as like Christian monogamy, like, or like new age, like, you know, let's all just, you know, live a poly life. Like, that's not what I'm here to do. I'm explaining dynamics that exist in other cultures and in other parts of the world that a Western audience can understand, but it's not done for spectacle. It's done for the dynamic in the drama, and it's done to understand how these things could play out in real life or how they typically do, based on my narrative research and based on people that I may know. And so that's something that I've always like I struggled with writing this story in particular because it's such a different it's very like close to with Niambe and Rizwan, like their dynamic is very close to I think how some people may start out in Asian culture with marriages, which is like you know it's a marriage out of need. It's not like a love marriage like in the West. It's more of like these are the obligations and the contractual agreement that we have, and this is like everything that goes with it, which is a common in Asian and like Muslim marriages. You have things like prenups, you have contracts, you have all these things that go into it, and that's not how Western marriages are. And so I wanted to introduce like an aspect of that in their dynamic. But in this episode, this chapter in particular, I wanted to have two different versions of like how a marriage is with the with well I don't want to spoil it, but there's two different ideas of how marriage works and the idea of the meher, which is the dowry that the man gives the wife. This one is really shows a different way and how that's interpreted. How typically women are like, and yeah, this is like a Western thing, right? And even in Indian culture too, it's really now it's better. But in the past, it was like something that the women had to like really like struggle to have a dowry or to get married. I really flipped it on its head and making sure the men give a dowry that the woman wants, and the length that they have to go to give it to them. Those things were interesting to me to explore in this one, and again, I come at these kind of stories from a perspective of someone that either is part of a culture or wants to explore like a what if aspect of the culture or the religion in a way that's like different. I definitely know that not everyone understands like Islamic marriages or Indian marriages or African marriages or just like diaspora kind of understanding. And again, like in writing for a Western audience, how do you balance those aspects and like trust the intelligence of the reader to not only be curious but to look like a little bit further that's been a really delicate balance for me, and I think I've been doing a good, okay job. Being crapped out for a second there. But with this dynamic, I wanted to show like, this is what the maker is, this is what the dowry is, and this is how far you have to go to get it. Um, and the thumbnail, because this is part one of chapter 9. This will be 10, I guess, next one. Um, becomes more relevant. Becomes more relevant. And yeah, let's just say I had a lot of fun with this chapter. It is definitely way more action with the rest of the environment that Carrie is in, and a lot of references to real places in Oregon, different bridges, different parks, different kind of landmarks that I was I was like, oh my god, I can't wait to like write this in. Because as you all know, I am from Chicago, and everyone writes about Chicago, but nobody writes about Oregon in a way that's like interesting. It's always horror this, horror that. I don't care all that. I want, you know, I wanted something where it was like a fantastical thing with Mami Wata, and I was like, oh, okay, like this is interesting. Like, what's gonna happen here? And like I'm based in Oregon, and so I wanted to write more of what I liked and what I knew, locally around here, and that was these like kind of spaces and areas that I think I would like more people to kind of be curious about and explore, um, and to have an opportunity to, um, come check out different landmarks that are in the story. And I think like in the future, like when the novel, this audiobook drama is done, I'll make like a map or something, or maybe I'll just put it in the glossary. We're in the school community. There's a glossary of terms for the drama for this act. I'll probably put a glossary in there with landmarks and like hyperlink out to like places that you can check out, because I would just love people to just know more about Oregon. And um, I like to write books about like where I visit, where I travel, or audio dramas. So it's like, who knows what the next one's gonna be when Song of Wata is done? Who knows? Um, but yeah, I felt very yeah, I felt very sure of the direction this was going to go. And only up until this year that I knew I wanted it to just be the focus of the two of them in their marriage. And um, I think make it easier for somebody new to my work to understand, because this isn't the first time I've written about this kind of stuff. Um, I've written in other works like, you know, um, guy with like three wives or two wives or four wives or whatever, or a woman that has more of like relationships where she like dates all types of guys and gets all types of experiences from that. And so yeah, I just thought that was interesting, and I wanted to share that aspect of it here. And the other thing was the sound design. Like I mentioned, I'm gonna go fix that. So I'm gonna hop off of here. I'm gonna fix sound design issue, and then it'll be just fine afterwards. But thank you so much. If you're just joining me, I'm Nakia Shade. I'm a nationally award-winning published author. I'm an America's Next Great Author semi-finalist 2022, and Dark Horse Comics author, character design artist, storyboard artist, and writer, and I'm the creator of Nakia Shade, Masala fiction dramas, and Song of Wata, chapter 9 of a Masala fiction audio book drama is dropping in a little bit because I have to fix sound design issues, but it drops tonight. So look forward to that. join the school community if you haven't already at nakiashade.com so you can get this month's coloring page. And I can't wait to see what you guys think about the episode. And you can always leave me comments on my Instagram. I am Nakia Shade, or the school community, or you can like email me on LinkedIn, or leave me a message on YouTube, or on Facebook and message me. Like, I'm here. I'm here. Welcome to my community where misfits are the main characters of their own stories and of their own lives. And that's what Masala fiction, that's what Nakia is all about, is the misfits in the world that are the main characters of their own lives and want dramas that kind of show that. But you have different dynamics and just, characters that may not be the archetypes or stereotypes that you're used to, but when you run out of stereotypes and archetypes, you gotta make your own. So that's where I come in. I am here when you're tired of stereotypes or archetypes already exist and you want something a little different that you have not seen before. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. I'm gonna go fix those edits, and I apologize. I apologize for that inconvenience. I apologize. I will get that fixed. But anyway, thanks so much, and I'll catch you guys in part two. Yeah, part two, Song of Wata, which will be chapter 10. So chapter 10, part two. All right, I'll see you guys soon.